friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Long Distance Friends podcast. My name is Liv. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Sorry that there wasn't an episode. I mean, I'm recording it day of, but at this point, it would have been last week. I totally thought that I had recorded an episode, went to check it, saw nothing, said, oops, well, shit. We're going to record this. And I mean, it's too late to post, but technically it's not. But like, I'm tired. Okay. I just had the longest weeks, plural, because technically I was gone for 2 weeks, which is crazy to me, right? Like I left on a Thursday and I came back to reality 2 Wednesdays later. So that's pretty much 2 weeks. It's like a week and 6 days, which 2 weeks. And like, holy moly, did I learn a lot. So I do want to like kind of recap it because it was so much fun. I went to California, I went to Nevada, I went to Alabama. I did so many things because I am that girl, right? If you follow me on TikTok, you saw some of the things. Okay. In California, I got to stay with a cousin who I really didn't have a strong connection with prior. I come from like a really big family of women. And so thankfully, was able to like reach out and be like, hey, I know this is maybe weird, but like, do you want to like do something? Can I stay with you? And she was so, so lovely, so warm, so welcoming, and was like, absolutely come stay at my home. Like, would love to have you. She had a lot going on. She was like, I'm so sorry, this is a little last minute, and I have some things going on, so I'm not able to like hang out the way that I would like to. And I was like, that's totally fine. Like, I try to be as low maintenance as possible, as little of a disruption to anybody's normal life as I can. And it was so nice. It was so lovely. I mean, beautiful home, beautiful place, beautiful people. They were so kind and got to have a lot of like really eye-opening conversations, I think, with her, especially about like, what am I doing with my life? Because like I've just been like in such a place, especially before I left, where I was like, I felt so stuck. I felt like I was just doing everything wrong. I felt like I had no idea what direction I was going in, right? And that everything that I was doing just kind of felt wrong. It kind of felt off. It didn't feel like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. And I was like, I feel like, I've put so, 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 so much time and energy into, you know, my job and being a good worker and building my career and then getting to a place where I'm like, I'm so tired. Like I'm burnt out and I'm tired and I'm 24. And I'm like in a place where like you guys know this over the past year. How many times have I been like, hey guys, I hit the floor, I'm struggling again. Like all the time. And having to get to, oh my God, I forgot to take my medicine today. I'll take it later. I I got to a place where I just kind of was like, oh, that's not how life is supposed to go. And I work in a culture that very much is like, oh, no, that's so normal. Embrace that. And I think there's a difference between like life has its ups and downs and a continuous cycle of burnout because you never fully heal. And that it's like, oh, well, we'll just encourage like get to a point that you're not on your deathbed burnt out, right? Get a little spark, a little sparkler's worth of light back, and then grind that shit back into the ground. Like, I know that if I were to be like, hey, I actually really need to take a sabbatical. I need to work on myself. I need to like get myself good and then come back. That I could, but then when I get back, it would be the same thing, right? Like I I've gotten a lot better about like setting boundaries of like, hey, I'm not working overtime if I don't have to. I'm not going to just stay here all night and all day on the off chance that someone needs me because one, that devalues my hours, it devalues my work, right? I have a salary, so I'm not getting paid the same dollar amount for every hour that I'm there, right? I get paid the same amount whether I put in 45 hours or 40 hours. I don't get extra. I don't get overtime. I don't get any of that. So why am I devaluing how this organization numerically like values my time, right? They said we value your time at this many dollars per hour. you're like, your efficiency in your role is we'll pay you this much per hour, right? I'm not paid by project. I'm not paid, like, that's how it works. And so, I kind of had that realization several months ago of like, when I work 60 hours, I tell this company that you value me too highly. I tell them, no, you think too much of me. I'm actually worth less. Nope, wrong. I'm worth double. I'm worth more, right? Because I am an efficient motherfucker. And so I was talking to my cousin about it and I was like, I'm just like, I'm so burnt out and I'm so tired. And I mean, it's been this way for the past 3 years, but I'm like, all of my professional peers are like 15 to 20 to 30 years older than me, right? Like, I just now am having people that are not in my position, but are in close to it that are like a year or two older than me. And I'm like, okay, which is so funny because I'm like, I talk to them and they're like, I'm like, how old do you think I am? And almost always they're like, oh, like 33, 32. And I'm like, fabulous. I'm 10 years younger than that. I mean, nine. What? And so it's kind of like weird to be like, ooh. And I mean, it's something that I was talking to her about. I was like, I'm really trying to focus on like building my life as a whole because I've spent the past 3 years chasing my career and doing nothing but being a good worker. And I know that I've talked about it before. I'm going to say it again because guess what? I will say the same thing until I am blue in the face. I was a good worker and I was so highly valued in my work because I had nothing else to live for, right? That is a common theme with almost every job that I've had, that I have made that job my personality, right? And I would rather tell the people that I love, I can't spend time with you because I need to go make money in order to be able to take care of myself. When, like, at the end of the day, money comes back. You can always make money. There is always a way to make up for that, right? There is always going to be an availability for you to go and make a dollar. What there's not always going to be an availability for is you to spend time with the people that you love and you care about and investing in your life as a whole. And I have neglected that for the past 10 years. Truly, I have been in the workforce for the past, actually, in a month from 2 days from now, a month from 2 days from now will be the 10-year anniversary of my joining the professional workforce. I have held a minimum of one job at all times. I talked to my therapist about it of like, over the past 10 years, there has been 1 month that I was not in school or holding an active job. 1 month. And I slept for that entire month because I was so exhausted. It was the month between my graduation of college and my starting of this job. I have never known what it is like to just have no responsibility and have nothing to worry about and to just live life. I haven't. And that's really tough. And so I was talking to my cousin, I was talking to her husband, and he was like, hey, like, that's great that you've gotten this far, in your career, but like, you're not happy, right? Like, I'm happy enough, but I'm really not happy with my life as a whole. Okay. You know what? I'm happy with my life, right? I love the people that are in my life. I love the things that I get to do. I love all of these aspects of it. And I love that my job allows me the funding to do these things, but my job does not allow me the time flexibility to do these things, right? Because I work a shitty schedule. So I'm available most of the daytime, but my partner works the exact opposite schedule of me. My partner works from the crack ass of dawn until the time that I go into work. And then I go into work and I come home at like midnight. And I love him so much. He's so sweet. He does make so many efforts in order to be like present and there. And so that we get to have good moments during the week. But I'm like, I want to be able to come home and have dinner with my partner, Like, I come home and he's made me dinner, and like there are nights that he makes dinner and I'm like, I'm gonna be home at this time. And then I end up having to stay an extra 1 to 2 hours. And, he's like, I have to go to bed because I have to go to work. I woke up with him to, I try to put together like a breakfast because he makes me dinner and be there for him and, have that 5 minutes in between to be able to like give him a hug and a kiss and tell him I love him before he goes to work, the same way that tries to do that for me when I come home from work. And it's really tough to be like, are we really nurturing our lives to the best of our ability, right? Am I building my social connectedness the way that I could? I'm a member of certain social clubs that meet on weekdays. I'm like, I have to take time off in order to spend time with people that are not colleagues, and that's really frustrating to be like, I don't have the luxury. Like, truly, I think the schedule would be great if I had small children because I would have all day to go do the mommy and me classes that are at 11 a.m. But I don't have that lifestyle. Like, truly, I think if I were to like go off, live my life, maybe have a kid and then come back to this role, it would benefit my life greatly. But at this point in time, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And I know that there's a lot of other roles around me that would also pay me more, right? Give me a better schedule. And I think it's time to start looking at it because, her husband was like, well, these are the money making years for you. They're also the memory making years. These are the years that you are the most able to do all of these things. You don't have kids. You don't have like really hardwired requirements to your life. Like you can get up and live your life to the max potential that you can. You can go out and you can do these things. You can live like this is the time to make your memories. And I was like, I have not made the memories that I would like to make in my early 20s, and I'm now approaching the midpoint of my 20s. And how lucky am I to be approaching that midpoint with the mindset of it's time for a change because I have neglected a portion of my life and I need to learn how to healthy boundary and manage my life. I look at the people around me in my current career who, I think, and I'm going to come back to it, right? We're going to go on a tangent, but it's going to make sense. I think of the Shonda Rhimes acceptance speech where she said, "When you see me succeeding in one area of my life, please know that I am failing in the others." And that, if I'm here today accepting an award, I am missing my daughter's softball game. If I'm at my daughter's softball game, I am missing Sandra Oh filming her last scene on Grey's Anatomy. When I am showing up in one area of my life, I am missing another part. And I think that unfortunately we live in a world that, like, one, it is more common with women to have that really big struggle, right? Especially like I am surrounded by women who are the breadwinners in their family. And that is so, so common now. And I love that. That's fucking amazing. Girl power, all the things. But the world still does not favor us. The world still does not favor us. And it puts us in a position where we're still the primary caregiver. We're still the primary person who is responsible for these things. Like when dad doesn't show up to a baseball game because he's late at a work meeting, it's like, okay, no big deal, whatever. But when mom doesn't show up, that shit hurts a little bit more, right? Because that's just the way that, like, unfortunately the world has come to the way that the world works. And shit on me for that opinion if you want, but like I grew up with like it rocked my shit when my mom wasn't there for me for things. I knew if my dad was at work, like, okay, he's busy with this. There were years that my mom was a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids and she'd show up for one of us and not the rest of us. And that hurt. That hurt to be like, okay, you're class mom for this person, but you've never been my class mom. It wasn't like you were taking turns to do that for me. But also, you can only be a class mom for one classroom. I get that. That's fine. And so it's frustrating. It really is. And I also kind of talked to my cousin about it where I was like, I think also having, still grieving and still healing with the loss of my brother. Like he was 20 years old when he died. He was 19 when he had his accident. And he didn't get to live the life that he truly desired. Like he was getting to a point where he was like, "Oh, I've got to change my ways." And I feel like that's one of the biggest lessons that I've gotten from losing him is that, some of the little pieces of like wisdom that he'd given me. I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up. Of like, I've spent my entire life taking care of other people and I've never lived my life for me. And over the past year, I've really started to do that, right? Like when I started this podcast, immediately like ended a situation where I was kind of in a relationship that like one, I was just like, I need something. Like I'm struggling. My brother had just had his accident. Everything in my life was shifting. I was moving. I was doing all these things. I had no stability and I just needed like something. Right. And unfortunately, that became a person. I feel bad. I'm so sorry if he ever listens to this that like I fucking used that person. I'm so sorry about that. Like I feel bad that I took this person who was friendly to me. And I was like, it's nice to have someone speak to me with kindness and answer when I text and tell me I'm doing a good job. It's nice to have that because I wasn't getting that anywhere else. And so I was going through a lawsuit at the time. I was just in a really rough place. And so I was like, okay, well, this just like checks the box. And I know I want to get married. And this guy was like, let's get married in the next 3 months. And I was like, yeah, totally. And then it like took me a minute that I was like, I don't want to marry this person. I don't want this person long term. Like, I don't have any matching values as this person. Like, I liked the idea of the person I could be if I changed everything about myself to fit that picture. And then I realized that is the biggest form of I hate myself. And I don't hate myself. I love myself. I've worked so hard to love myself, but that is an old pattern playing out of choosing someone who fits this fucked up idea of what I want with my life. And I want these things in my life, but I don't want them like that. I want them on my terms. I want them when I'm ready. I want them when I've lived the life that's corresponded with it. And so ended things there and was like, okay, well, now I have to change it, right? Like now I have to really work on myself because like why did I do that? And so I dedicated time to being solo. I dedicated time to actually dating, right? That was something I'd never done of like I'm just going on dates. I'm just casually seeing people. I want to date people with no intention of like I'm scrolling to find a husband, right? Cuz I'm not. I'm scrolling to find someone I like to spend time with. I'm scrolling to find someone that I'm looking for someone. I was looking, I found him. Tee. I was looking for someone that I just enjoyed being with, enjoyed spending time with, and that like I want to be friends with, right? I was dating people previously that I was like, okay, you check the boxes of like breathing makes a certain dollar amount, that can work. And like that's not what I wanted. That's not what I want. I would rather be the breadwinner and be with the person who fills my life with joy and encourages me to slow down, encourages me to be the best version of myself, never puts me in a position where they want me to change to their standard, but encourages me to change to my own standards and grow to my highest potential and live a life that I am proud of. And I'm so lucky to have that in my life now. And I feel so grateful for it. And I don't take any of it for granted. But I have to take a look at my life then and say, I am not in a situation in my life where I get to do those things based off of the other choices that I've made. And it's really hard to look at my life and say that I have outgrown the version of myself that I was a year ago. I have outgrown the dreams that were what my life revolved around for the past 5 years, for the past 10 years, even. I mean, I have dreams that have been lifelong that I am now at a point that I look at and say, I don't identify with that anymore. And it feels like I'm breaking up with myself because of it. And that's really hard. I've worked so hard to have this like, I'm financially stable. And my cousin said it, and then I saw it on a LinkedIn post of like, job stability is an illusion. Being in a role where you're like, oh, I know that I am safe, that I'm not going to walk in one day and just be walked out. That's an illusion, right? Like this company does not owe you anything. Even if it is a family owned and operated, at the end of the day, no organization owes me anything. They feel no emotional connection to take care of me. I'm here to do a job and they're there to fulfill their responsibility once I complete that job. That is all a company is. Even if you believe, oh no, they love me, they care about the people there might, but the organization itself is its own entity. The people that work there are not the entity itself. They have to act on behalf of this organization that is a living, breathing thing of its own. And so, this idea of like, I have job security isn't real. Job security is something that you are, it's an emotional support blanket when you go to bed so that the monsters don't take you in the middle of the night. It's not real. It's not real. At the end of the day, I can be replaced in any job that I do within a month. And I'm okay with that. I used to be in a place where like I was showing up to work every day having panic attacks that what if they just decide that today is my last day and like one, I'd survive, right? I'd survive. Two, I'd hope it wouldn't be. I know that I'm a really good worker. I know that I'm a really hard worker. I know right now I'm kind of disconnected because I'm like, what am I doing in my life? Do I like where I'm at? And so California was really great because I got to really open my eyes and see what it was like to not feel the responsibilities of my workload. Of course, I missed my boys so, so much. That was like my biggest pang. But I had several chronic health issues that just kind of alleviated for that week. That like certain chronic pains and digestive issues and skin issues and all of these things that it was just like I've gone through so much testing and all the things and I've had doctors tell me like I think this is just a stress related like you have been under high stress for such a long period of time that certain bodily functions are now failing, right? Because stress will do that. Stress will do that. And I have been under chronic stress almost my entire life. And this was the first time that a lot of these things cleared up. And I was talking to my trainer. I don't know what it is. Is it that I'm in an environment where I have someone who is loving on me and caring towards me? And like, I mean, I'm getting sent to bed every night with a bowl of fresh fruit and I'm like getting a hug goodnight and I feel so loved and all these things. I I think that's part of it. I don't think that's the whole thing. I think the whole thing is that that was the first time that I deleted everything work related off of my phone. I said, if you need me, don't call someone else. And again, it helped with the eye opening of like, oh, they don't need me. Like, they're going to realize with me gone how many things I do to keep this current team afloat, but they don't need me. Like, they can figure out how to deal without me because they existed before I got there and they'll exist when I'm gone. I can leave for a week and like, yeah, somebody might be pissed off that I'm not there to do things as fast as I would or whatever. But that's also then on me to set the boundary of, hey, I'm not doing this shit anymore. Okay. That's not my job. I know that I've done it in the past. That's not for me to do. I'm taking on too much. And that's for somebody else to figure out, not me. And that makes me feel like a bad worker. And I know that it is the opposite, right? It's important for me to learn to not overextend myself because I've created an expectation that I do six jobs for the price of one. And that doesn't give me enough time to really be the master of the one job I'm actually responsible for, right? And it also gives the impression that I can be walked on, and you're not going to walk on me. Got to have a fun conversation about that. But yeah, so moral of the story, all this to say, being in California and being around family who has been in my position, has fought for their career, has climbed the ladder and turned around and gone in a different direction really, really helped me because it's a topic that scares me, right? I know what it's like to be financially insecure. I know what it's like to not have my bills paid and feel so afraid because of it. And I promised myself that I would never be in that position again. And now, I'm looking at changing careers, and that's scary because I know that this one provides that financial security, right? It provides me the money to pay for the roof over my head, to invest in a piece of property that allows me to have equity in building my portfolio, right? Sorry, I forgot the word there. It allows me the time to go on vacation and see the world and have new experiences and invest in myself, invest in my life, and do all of these great things. And that's so fun. That's so amazing. But it's also costing me my health and my mental health. And opening my eyes to say, you know what? I need to prioritize surviving and thriving for the rest of my life, not just surviving and barely existing because it pays me more. Like there's a certain threshold where like money doesn't make you happy. And, I kind of had talked to this cousin about it where she was like, well, I mean, it's good to have like a man that's a provider and that you don't have to worry about these things and all of that. And I was like, yeah, but I've dated that guy before, like I've primarily dated people that made exuberant amounts of money, right? And one of them was generous. One of them, to this day, like we had our differences, but while I don't agree with certain moral beliefs that they have and certain behaviors that they exhibit, I don't think I would ever say that person is the worst person alive. I might not agree with everything that they do, but I do know that for the people they care about, they will give the world, they'll go out of their way. They'll, put the money into it. They will put the time into it. They will put the effort into it. And you can't say that about a lot of people that make that dollar amount. I've then dated people that made more than that dollar amount and were the stingiest motherfucking people alive and did not care about anything besides the money. Didn't care about me, didn't care about their family, didn't care about their friends, did not care. Loved to flex that they had the financial ability to do these things. And they were the first person to say, hey, you owe me $2.13 for your portion of the Uber. Like, hey, you make 3 times the amount of money that I make. And also, you invited me on this date. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? You know? And I kind of told her that I was like, I've not had that experience. You know, I have a partner who is a provider. And while I earn more dollar amount, I come home from work and there's a dinner made for me that's warm when I get home from work. I need something fixed and he does it. And I mean, I just mentioned something and he's like, no, I know how to do that. Actually, let me take care of that. You don't worry about that. Add that to my list. Let me take care of that. There are things that I'm like, I can take care of. And there are things that I'm like, I can get somebody else to take care of. And he's the first person to say, actually, no, don't get somebody else to do it. Let me do it. And hey, a couple of the things that you can do, I know that you can do it, but can you let me take that on for you so that you don't have to worry about it? Because when I don't have to worry about it, I'm a little bit nicer to be around. And I'd much rather choose that in my life. But then I don't get to enjoy that person as much because, again, I only get like 2 days a week with them. And I'd like to have more time than that. Because that's also then not fair to this person to be like, hey, I'm monopolizing your weekends. Because you want to go do things with other people. And then I get pissy if you're like not spending that time with me. Because I'm like, that's the only time I get to spend with you. And that's not fair to everybody involved. It's not fair to my friends who I also want to spend time with. And am like, hey, sorry, I don't have enough vacation time to go get dinner. So, all that to say, I'm looking for new opportunities to bring my life to the homeostasis that I desire in order to properly invest in myself in all areas because this is the defining decade and I've worked so hard and now I get to decide, do I want to live I sell my soul to organizations life, or do I want to live a life that I'm proud of that is a healthy division of time invested in me, time invested in the people I love, time invested in hobbies, and time invested in my career. And I do feel like it is. I had this thought that I was like, is this me derailing my career by choosing? And this, how fucked up is this? How fucked up is this thought that I literally sat down and I said, if I change jobs, am I going to set back my career and never be able to get back to this point because I need to take the time off so that I don't want to kill myself in 5 years? because I have nothing left to live for and I'm miserable and I keep burning out and I can't grasp back on to where I should be in life. And I was like, oh, um, is my career worth my mental health? No, no, it's not. Um, because my mental health is my health, keeps me alive. And if I die tomorrow, this job would go, oh, okay, well, open the job. Let's start having people apply. Like my body would not be cold. And that's helped so much to get that through my head. If you are younger and listening to this, I hope you understand. Like, yes, you should care about your job. You should do something that you love, but you should also take a moment to think about the fact that, like, what does your life look like as a whole? What are your top values? My number one value my entire life has been I want to be a mother and I want to have a family and I want to be a wife. And that those are the number one values that I have had my entire life. My current lifestyle is not conducive with that. It is not. I worked as hard as I did because I had the mindset that I'm going to earn as much money as I can now. So that way, when I start having kids, I can take my foot off the gas and I can focus there. But here's the problem: I wouldn't know how to take my foot off the gas because it was through the fucking floor. It was through the floor with how I was living. Yeah, I'm making all this money and I'm investing in a house. So that way, when I have kids, I have a house and all the things. Shit'll figure itself out. You don't have to have those things to achieve that. And to be a good present parent, I need to not be working a job that I come home from work and I'm sobbing and burnt out and touch just I like can't deal with people. I can't even talk. And that's not how I want to be. I also don't want to be like the people who I see around me who are like, "Hey, I'm having to miss a lot of pivotal moments for my family because I got to get this thing done." And I know that there's deadlines. I know that deadlines are important, but there are certain things that I'm like, leave, do it later. Like, I don't judge anybody for how they choose to live their life, how they choose to manage their work life balance. But I do sit there and it hurts a piece of me to think about the fact that the career path that I'm being advertised of, like, how great is this? This is what you get to do. I'm like, I just watched you work 12 hours and miss your child's opening basketball game. I don't want to do that. I want to be there. And I know that you want to be there. I know that it's killing you that you're having to get videos of this moment that's really important for your kids and for your family, and everybody else is there but you. And I know that that's breaking something inside of you. I can't do that. I don't I don't want to do that. I've lived so much of my life. Everything in my life has fought to put me in a position where I get to have a family and I get to be present for it and I get to be the best parent. I don't have kids. I don't want kids for another like 5 years, but besides the point, I want to be there when it's time. And I want to also know that I have created an expectation in the workplace that, like, I don't ever want to have a employer look at my performance and say her dedication to this company has decreased since she had a child, because I say I have to set a boundary that I need to be out at this time and I'm going to leave at this time. I need to set that boundary now so that way when it's looked at later on, because this is the way the world works. I'm sorry to be the fucking bad news bears, but like when a man leaves early and says, "Oh, sorry, I got my kid's game. I got to be there." We go, "Good dad. Look at that good dad right there." And when a woman says, "Hey, I have to leave early. My child is sick. My child has an event. I have to go do this thing as a parent." It's like, "Oh, so you're not dedicated to the company? So you're not dedicated to your career? Hey, fuck you. Hey, suck my asshole. Literally suck the shit right out of my ass. Fuck off." That is so fucked up and I hate that. I hate that. I've been around those people. I've worked in that environment. I've literally had a male coworker who does not work with me anymore. Thank fucking God. Sit there and try to get me to gang up with him. That, like, you want to look at something? Look at how many women in this office get to leave at this time to go pick up their kids. I was like, these women are coming in at the crack ass of dawn so that they can leave to get their kids. Also, you're not involved in your kid's life. You actively are like, I fucking hate my kids, so I'd rather be here. I commend them. I commend them for working this hard and still being able to make it work, even though it's fucking tough. Literally, you're not going to get my sympathy. I think you're a bad person. I think you're a misogynist, and I think you need to leave. And guess what? He did. Good for him. Good for fucking him. I was so angry. I was so angry because he'd then like say shit to me of like, oh, you're already leaving. And I was like, yeah, I put in my hours. I've done my work. If I continue to sit here any longer, I'm also wasting the company's time because I'm just sitting here. Like I've done everything I need to do. Pisses me off so much. So yeah, all that to say, I am learning how to set boundaries and live a more holistic life. So yippee for me. So California was great. I picked up Monsieur Tromix. We had a great time. He had some knee problems. He did not do as long of the trail as he was originally planning based off of the injury that he got. And he was able to heal it pretty good, but like is still having some knee problems. So we'll eventually get him to a doctor. Don't worry. He climbed Mount Whitney. I picked him up at Mount Whitney and had Flat Stanley with me. Of course, the content was great. And we went from Mount Whitney to Las Vegas. I rented my cutesy pie little cart, which I drove a Nissan Rogue, and that shit was so nice. It was so fun. I had such a grand time. So now I'm looking at new cars because I was like, give me an SUV. I'm ready for an SUV. I really am. But I am holding off because I am selling my car to someone when they turn 16. They need to start saving their money though. And you know, all's to say, I'm holding off. I'm keeping an eye, but I'm holding off. Um, but I'm getting ideas. I'm getting ideas of cars that I like. And we drove to Las Vegas. We drove through Death Valley. We ended up taking a pit stop because he was like, I was at the highest point in the contiguous United States. I was in the highest point in North America. I can now go to the lowest point in North America, which is Badwater Basin in Death Valley. Death Valley was 107 degrees at 5 p.m. Okay. At 5 p.m., it was 107, right? The sun was setting and it was that fucking hot. It was disgusting. It was gross. I was so dehydrated. But we did that together. I got to see it. That was so fun. We took some salt, some like sand rocks that had salt in them because Badwater Basin, fun story with it. The reason why it's called Badwater Basin is like the horses that were brought to it by the people going through brought the horse like found water, brought the horses to it, and the horses wouldn't drink because it was so saturated with salt that it was undrinkable. So we're told like this is bad water. So we got his name. Something like that. That might be wrong. I don't know. Don't literally if you're taking legitimate facts from me, I don't always know what I'm talking about, but I will talk. And I'm usually pretty close, I will say. We then went to Las Vegas, and me being me, you know that I'm a planner. So I had already mapped out a select options that I wanted to stay at. I had done my research. So I was waiting until I picked him up to be like, okay, so now we're driving. Like, what is our budget? What is the, like, here are the things that I want to do. What do you want to do? So that way I can make sure that we choose the best option for us because here's a good option for partying. Here's a good option for restaurants. Here's a good option for relaxation. What are we going to do? And he got a phone call from one of his like cousins or friends or something. And they were like, well, if you're driving through, like you should just come to Arizona. It's only a couple extra hours. And he was like, well, no, we're going to Vegas. Like we're flying out of Vegas. Why don't you guys come meet us? Like we'll be there for 2 nights. You can come spend a night with us. And I was like, well, if somebody's coming, we can't do these rooms that I've selected because they are like max 2 people, like smaller, like party central rooms. But Mario Mirenti and Bryn on TikTok, love them so much. Like 2 days before I left for Vegas, like first of all, I had already looked at the Fontainebleau. Spoiler alert, bought a suite at the Fontainebleau. Because I'm bougie and it was beautiful. It was so gorgeous. It was so fun. He had surprised Bryn with a date night at the Fontainebleau. Was like, oh, we're gonna go get dinner, and then was like, oh, surprise! I booked us a suite for the night. La 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 la. And so I was like, and they're on sale. It's a 30% off sale for like the end of summer. Count me in, coach. Okay. So I was like, oh, someone's coming to stay with us. So we need a bigger room. Give me a reason. Give me a reason right fucking now. And I also, in my mind, I was like, I have not taken a vacation in 3 years. You get where I'm going? I haven't gone on a vacation in 3 years. So like I need to take these because I spent a lot less money in California than I was planning. I ended up just like really chilling for most of it. I was staying with my cousin. Like I just was having family time and it was amazing. And I was like, fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. So we got a suite. It was beautiful. They had the nicest robes, and I love a robe. I am currently recording in a robe. I'm not going to post any videos of this because I look a hot mess, but I love a robe. I love slippers. I was walking around that bitch so prepared. And we ended up staying there. We got dinner at the Vanderpump Cocktail Garden. And when I say dinner, I mean apps and drinks. And it was gorgeous. It was so fucking expensive. And like, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't go back. The goat cheese balls were delicious. I could probably make them better at home. I was really not all that impressed. I thought the decor was beautiful. I thought that it was portrayed a lot better than it is in reality. And that's as it is with a lot of things, right? And I personally wouldn't return, personally. I just think that for the value, it wasn't worth it. And that's okay. Like it was something that I wanted to do. I was more than happy to do it, balled the fuck out on it, and will not do it again. But it was a good experience. It was a nice little fancy date night because we hadn't gone on a date in like 6 weeks. Okay. And I kind of joked, he was like, what the fuck? Because you walk into the Fountain Blue and like everything is gold. Toots is in the studio. They had this like huge display that was all roses. Um, and like we're definitely gonna go back to Vegas because there's a lot of things that I wanted to do that we didn't end up doing. And, I kind of joked because I was like, I am the type of person who, like, I'm going to stay at like the Bellagio. I'm going to stay at the Fountain Blue. I'm going to stay at like the bougie name brands. And, you know, I think in the future, probably not. I think this was definitely like hey, it's a special occasion. Let's fucking go. And we spent the majority of our time truly in that hotel room because we were exhausted. He was exhausted for sure. It was the biggest bathtub I've ever seen. And like that was a huge factor for me. It was like one, I love a bath. And two, this man's muscles are so sore. He needs to take a bath. And this suite had two bathrooms, which were two separate showers, two toilets. And then the main bathroom had a big ass bathtub. It had a gorgeous vanity. It was amazing. I was like, we can both poop at the same time in different places. This is great. This is perfect for our relationship. And that suite was bigger than my first apartment by a landslide. Okay. It was also a lot nicer, as I would expect. Had a pool view. It was gorgeous. In retrospect, probably should have gone to the pool. Didn't. My ass was so tired. We went and played some disc golf. We flew home. And like, I will say, by the end of it, I was like, I balled out so hard in Vegas. I was like, we're using credit card points to fly home, right? Because we didn't book a flight home in advance because we didn't know what day we were going to be leaving. We did have some lovely moments where we were getting a little snippy because I did make the wrong turn trying to return this car. I went to the wrong place. Like, I totally would have caused us to be late to our flight. So when we realized that, oh, I might not make it in time, we said, you know what? Let's just actually go ahead and book a different flight. Let's change the flights. No problem at all. And so we did that. We did that. And it was lovely. Ended up getting home at like midnight, but it was okay. It was so fine. And had a lovely time. Had really just truly the best time. I will say such a positive like thumbs up for me that we were able to like be in the most high stress moments of traveling and still choose kindness. Where like we kind of were like, hey, what are you doing? And then immediately in the moment, we're like, hey, I'm feeling really stressed out. I'm going to assume you're also feeling really stressed out. I'm going to take a breath and step back and be quiet. I love you. You are doing your best. I appreciate that you're doing your best. You tell me how I can help you. Do you need a hug? Do you need guidance? Do you need me to just shut up? And we got into that, habit really quickly. And I was so proud of it. It was one of those things that I was like, this is one of the things that I love the most about you is that like hey, I'm already mad at myself that I don't know where I'm going. I'm already angry with myself that I missed the turn and now I have to loop back and it's added 10 minutes. Like, I'm also frustrated. I'm really frustrated with myself. And I know that you are not having the same thought process that I am while I'm looking at the directions. And I'm also looking like you are in a completely different mindset because you're a passenger princess, right? When I'm the passenger princess and you go somewhere that I'm not tracking to, I'm like, hey, what the fuck? I need to take a step out because, hey, you know what you're doing. And if you've made an error, like I get it, you're also stressed. And so I was really, really grateful for that. We came home, we spent one night at home, and then we drove to Tuscaloosa the next day. So fun. That was a 6.5, 7 hour drive. Super fun. He drove down and I was so tired. And he was like, no, like stay up. Like we're gonna talk, we're gonna hang out. Like you gotta keep me awake so that I can get there. And I was like, yeah, of course. Of course, of course, of course. We got to this gorgeous little Airbnb. We went with my girlfriend Reagan, her husband, and her husband's cousin. And we went to the Alabama Western Kentucky football game. We had the most fun. Fun fact, Bryant Denny Stadium sells alcohol now. And when I was in college, they were like, they're going to start selling beer and White Claws. Amazing. They were selling margaritas in a can. They were selling Blue Hawaiians in a can. They were selling Alabama Slammers in a can. And they were selling screwdrivers in a can. Them shits were 10% alcohol, right? Me and my girl Reagan got fucked up. Okay. We got fucked up. We had 2.5, maybe 3 of these beverages. And first of all, I mean, we have a friend, Rick, if you're listening. I love you. Thank you for being such a loyal listener and being such a motivator for me. I love it. Thank you so much. Love your support. I get to see your sister-in-law soon. Teehee. His sister-in-law is my dentist. Teehee. Anyways, um, Reagan and I went to an Alabama game last year for my birthday. We talked about it on here, rock and roll. This year we went down to Tuscaloosa. Andrew, my boyfriend, was so fucking funny. He was like, we should make this a tradition. This was so fun. And I was like, oh, it already is a tradition. This is just your first year here. So you get to come back next year for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. Loved having like an Airbnb and getting to all like stay together was so fun. Having like a little sleepover. We got so fucked up. They did have to leave a little bit earlier than we did the next morning. And I love Reagan so much. She's, oh, my angel. I had left a little note with 2 ibuprofens and 2 Tylenols and 2 liquid IVs and was like, gonna assume you guys are also hungover. If you have a headache, take one of each. And I was like, God, I love her. She knows me so well. Because we got fucked up at that game. We really did. And then we were like, we gotta go out. Went out after crazy town. I mean, we just kept going, honestly. And I just remember Andrew at one point being like, I think you guys are good. I think we're ready to leave. And I was like, no, we got to keep going. He was like, I love you. You are so drunk. You need to go home. I was like, okay, fine. Then we're going to get dinner and we're going to leave. Went to Quick Grill, got an outrageous amount of food, got 3 burgers, 3 hot dogs, 3 boxes of messy fries. Only ordered 2 hot dogs though, so thank you for the extra hot dog, Quick Grill. Love you. It was a delicious hot dog. It was better than the stadium hot dogs. I ate 3 hot dogs that night. I ate 3 fucking hot dogs, and I attribute that to not having a hangover. I did have a hangover, but it wasn't as bad as it should have been compared to what I consumed. Sent Rick our annual me and Reagan are in line for hot dogs photo, which he was like, okay. You're welcome. Had the best time ever. We were definitely pissing off all of the people around us because we were drunk and obnoxious, but like that's how you're supposed to be. Like we were filming things, we were taking pictures, we were screaming. I don't fully understand football, but you bet your ass I lost my voice. I was screaming, I was hooting and hollering. And we had the best time. It was so much fun. We had gotten breakfast that morning as a group. We all went to Ram Pajamas, got breakfast, came home. Reagan and I got ready. She and her husband ended up going to a store. Andrew and I were like, we got to take a nap because we're exhausted. And it all ended up working out so great. And it just was like so fun. Like we were pre-gaming at the house. And then we walked over. We had such a good Airbnb. It was right behind the strip. It was like walking distance to everything. And I was like, okay, we have to do this again next year. Like, this is amazing. This is so much fun. Best time ever. And then they were like, oh, we're going on the boat tomorrow. You guys should come. So we were like, okay. Drove to the other side of Kentucky on our way home, ended up going to the lake with them, had a great Labor Day, got to hang out with some more of their friends. Like, just really had the most, like, I never want this to end. And like, you guys know this. I'm like, there's nothing that I miss and I crave more than just like the closeness of having my girlfriends around and being able to like get ready for things with a girlfriend nearby and be like, what are you wearing? I'm wearing this. How are you doing your hair? How are you doing your makeup? And like getting to get ready together, getting to just like be excited, giggly girls together. And I got a full weekend of that. And genuinely, I was like, that filled my cup of joy leaps, like it's overflowing now. And I'm so thankful for that because I miss it. I miss it so much. And then we came home. I ended up getting to go get brunch with my girlfriend Dana. Like I just had the most like girlfriend filled, week. And I was like, this is amazing. This is everything I ever needed. Um, but yeah, so that's what was happening when I was away. I did make a list and I have been yapping for so long. So this is just going to be a catch up episode. And next episode, we'll have a list. Okay. So thank you for listening to my super fun adventure. It was so great. I had such a lovely time. Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Oh, I got some new Oracle cards while I was with my cousin. She was like, hey, I just sold this house. They have a bunch of books that they're trying to get rid of. Do you want to come over and take a look at them? And I had a girlfriend who was like, hey, I saw this thing that like you shouldn't be buying your own tarot cards, like tarot and oracle cards, like let them come to you because that's like a more spiritually significant process. Like let them choose you. Let it come into your life. And every card deck that I've gotten has come to me that way. And I'm like, I trust it. Okay, there's something in this I need to know. And my cousin had been telling me about she has this like animal deck that she was like, I love it. It's so great. Like we should pull a couple cards together because like you're feeling lost and maybe it would be helpful to like get some insight and some guidance. And I was like, oh my God, yes. We go, I'm like picking out books. And I was like, hey, you had mentioned this card deck to me. Is this your card deck? And she was like, that's a sign. You need to take it. That's not mine. Mine is at my house, like on my bedside table. That's yours. That is meant to be yours. And so I was like, fucking bet. Took that shit. I did a lot of thrift shopping while I was in California. Got some really cute things. Gonna be honest, I know that I brought so much home. There's a couple pieces that I'm like, where did that go? I have several that are too small for me, but I was like, this is too good of a deal to not buy. We'll figure it out. We really will. But I had a lovely time, had so much fun. Thank you for listening. Love you all. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, evaluate your life and make sure that you're living a life that you're proud of, that you enjoy living, and that you wake up every day and are feeling aligned with. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us everywhere. I love you so much. Okay, bye. Bye.